Can you hear it? Welcome to Relay.
We're gonna get the audio at all when we
So he turned up on my doorstep, right? There was just this mysterious knock at the door. I opened the door, and there he was, trousers round his ankles, tears in his eyes, and he just said, "I had an encounter with some bin men." So I had to bring him inside, and I wrapped him in some foil, and then I put him in the oven, 200 degrees Celsius, for about 45 minutes, and then he wasn't doing very well, so I put butter all over his back, and he went downhill faster after that.
Am I still doubled? Waiting for someone to tell me if I'm still doubled.
I only see one of you, but I haven't been drinking today.
That's unfortunate. I'm gonna fix that right now. You know how much I drank in the UK? I don't think I should talk about how much I drank in the UK because I drank a lot in the UK. But there was a reason. It's because here...
alcoholic! He's got justifications, look at this.
Of course I have a justification. Over here in the America of the North, we don't have cask ales. They don't exist. And cask ales are the best way to drink beer. It is just a more pleasant drinking experience.
You know you're supposed to pour it into a glass first, right?
No. I walked into bar, punched the bartender, grabbed the cask, and ran out.
You spend too much time in the North. You've picked up bad habits.
Honestly, our time in the North, or as north as we got, which was essentially Edinburgh.
That's pretty north, I'm not going to lie. I mean, that's like a whole different country to me.
I still can't figure it out. Is it a different country if you're part of a united...
It's called Scotland. Of course it's a different fucking country. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but you're the United Kingdom.
Is Canada a different country to the United States of America? Is Mexico a different country from Canada?
Yeah, but you bastards use the same damn currency.
Yeah. So does Europe, but they're not the same country either.
That's fair. Anyway,
you also call your currency a dollar, and America calls theirs a dollar, and it's like, really, and you can't interchange them, and it's like, you fuckwits. One of you change.
And you bastards call yours pounds and quids and pence and like 900.
Yeah, do you know what things. Do you know what that we call that? Value on a currency. What was it like experiencing that?
Honestly, it wasn't the currency value that was the problem. It was just how much you guys pay for everything. It is so incredibly
technically
expensive
though. You're paying the same amount in Canada and the States. It's just that you wait until you pay your taxes, and then you pay it all, and we just pay it at that point, so we don't have to send in taxes. We just do it at point of sale.
Yeah, but you have income tax, do you not?
At point of sale. Oh, income tax is taxed when you get your paycheck. It's all done automatically.
Yeah, we have that,
Yeah,
but
yeah, so
even
Yeah.
accounting for sales tax.
Oh yeah, and of course, there is a reason that they did chuck a shitload of tea into the fucking thing. We are taxed up the wazoo, and
No, it's
someone's
just
got to pay for those duck mansions.
it was hard to find like a burger in a pub for less than £20.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Why are you going to a
Yeah,
fucking
but
pub?
£20 is $40 here.
On vacation, shiver.
Yeah.
Do you know how much a burger
We go
in
to
a pub
Greg's.
costs
We
here?
go to Greg's, and we come back with like enough salt that it would give us a heart attack by the afternoon and spend 10 quid. That's what the locals do. We eat Greg's.
Well,
Fair enough.
we tried going to pubs, and they were twice as expensive as a pub here would be for less food.
That's where you went wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Like Darge is absolutely
look,
right. Like the continent, pubs and bars are absolutely a far more popular thing and a far more reasonable price, and a nice way to spend your afternoon. Quite frankly, is out on a because you can buy a cup of coffee at a fucking bar. It's so civilized on the continent. Just sit out there, have a cup of coffee, watch the world go by. We're on holiday. It's so nice. You can't do that here. No, get pissed, get out. 10 quid for 30 litres of beer.
I loved Norwich. Norwich was beautiful. London was shite.
Yeah.
London was shite. Warwick Castle was fantastic. It's like a working
It's one of the nicest
castle.
castles.
Yeah.
I think Warwick Castle is the most complete castle left in the country.
Really? I mean, it's
It makes sense. That makes sense because I went to Edinburgh Castle and they're like, we don't really know what it looked like before because it got destroyed a bunch of times. So,
but it is.
You know how to tell. Do you know how to
Yes.
tell at a glance the age of a British castle?
Whether it has intact walls.
So if it's pre 1066, it will have square ramparts and square turrets.
Oh, that makes
If it's
sense.
post 1066 with the Norman architecture, they have round turrets and round ramparts because they were sturdier.
Yeah, we climbed all the way up the circular ramparts at Warwick. It took.
Did you go in the torture chamber?
Mac and I did.
Did you see the fucking? I can't remember what it's called. The hole.
All of the oubliette.
I'm not even sure. What's it called? It was like that wide, and it's like that, and they just stuff a person in there.
The French
Done.
call that an oubliette.
Oh,
they had some cool stuff, but they also they had a dinner there, right? And if you stayed there, you got dinner as well. But at the dinner, they had like a dude in full armor come and like gave all of the kids night lessons. So Link got like sword fighting lessons from a dude in full armor, and it was crazy. He was great. He was fantastic. He was a Blink-182 fan. He and I had
to
a
Warwick
long
Castle, has the fucking night experience, and he's like, "Oh, the food was a bit expensive."
I mean, yeah.
In fairness, eating out is no. Let me rephrase that. Eating at
that's right,
established restaurants is expensive.
Yes, I did cook a lot.
Eating out is it's 10 quid flat rate discount.
But like the night was talking to these kids, right? And they're like 5, 6 years old, and he's like, "And what do you not want? And this is how you kill someone. You do this. Oh no, you're dead. You're dead. I've just chopped your head off." Like, and being fully graphic to these and it was like, man, you would not be able to say a single thing that he said over here in Canada. Like, you would never be able to say that as like an establishment. It was amazing. I loved it. I really liked Edinburgh. Cass and I were like, no, we're going back to Scotland. We had like a 6-hour drive through the Scottish Highlands that we just drove, and we found some coos and like that is one of the most beautiful places I've been on the planet. Just the Scottish Highlands. It was phenomenal.
I'm gonna throw in, right,
Hey,
because it
Matraka.
doesn't get enough fucking exposure. But Wales is there are parts of Wales that are fucking gorgeous. It's not the same. Obviously,
You're
it's not
giving
the
me
same
another
kind of
place to
countryside
go,
as
Shiver.
Scotland.
Damn you.
Yep.
Wales is gorgeous.
Awesome.
We really want to do like another tour of the UK minus most of
You
England.
still owe me a curry. Did you have a curry? Either of you, both of you? When you're in Manchester, you have to have a tikka masala. Same goes for you if you fucking went. Did you have a fucking tikka masala? If not, why not?
Shiver?
Me?
I didn't have a tikka masala at a restaurant. I made it myself.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Actually, it was great.
I'm not doubting your ability, but it's like, so I had a glass of champagne and I made myself. Well, that's not champagne, is it?
No, but it was like I actually really liked. There were like these pre-made kits that had all the spices, but whole. That stuff doesn't exist here. Here you just buy the friggin' sauce. It was good. It was good. The source
I'm sure it was good, but that doesn't
answer your question.
My trucker tikka masalas were made in probably Manchester.
I didn't this trip, but I did last trip.
Oh,
I did
okay.
last trip as well.
Okay, that's good enough.
Oh no, last trip.
Yeah, but
last trip, Vince and I found like some random Indian place and grabbed tikka masala at like 10 p.m.
2 a.m.
So.
You'll find if you go to places in Manchester, Daj, they claim it as well. But there are also places in Glasgow that claim it. At the end of the day, it's not Indian. That we know.
Anyway,
it's good. Though.
UK was great. Seeing people that I love was great. I got to spend, an hour with Shiver, which wasn't nearly enough, but time and drives. And then spent a lot of time with Eric and Jake, and saw Darj on the show floor. That was nice. Arid is probably not watching this live, but if you happen to watch this after, Arid met him on the show floor, and he
a shitload of people that used to watch us and don't watch us anymore. Quite understandably so.
Oh yeah. But Arid gave me some advice for some whiskey to bring back, so I've got a bottle of that. I haven't actually opened it yet. I should really have a glass of it soon. But yeah, I thought everything around. Yeah, Darj, I agree. It does suck that you were stuck to the booth all the time. But hey, that idea that I mentioned, what are the chances of that actually happening? Please let me know. Anyway, should we? You should be concerned, Shiver. You should be. Giant BMM, but the door is a working dildo.
I mean, that is. You should probably pitch that to Bad Dragon, but.
Darj, the idea was instead of like a Saber Raven pack with 3 variants of the Raven, the idea was like a 3-pack of like a Cutlass, a Buccaneer, and a 3 packs of models that aren't like all the same model. They're variants, because I would love to have like a couple little ships. Run that up the chain.
Manufacturer packs.
Even better would be if there was a way to do it on the website where you could be like, a 3-pack is this much. Here, pick your 3. A 5-pack is this. Pick your, or something, so you can get some like variety and get it all shipped to me, and I can. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. I'll shut up now. Yeah, I figured it would. I
felt very left out watching everyone doing that, meeting everyone, but then I looked at the crowds and I was like, oh no, there's way more than 3 people in that room. There's way more than 3. There's at least 7 people in that room.
Yeah,
I thought the 2019 was big, but apparently there were only like 1,900 people there, I think, something like that, and there was like 4,200 this time. So It's
It
a
was
lot more.
It was a lot.
Man.
I wore a mask almost the entire time, and I'm really glad I did because I managed to not get sick the entire time. The air flights, like I didn't get con flu, and I've heard from a lot of people that they did. That
I
said,
managed to avoid it too, which was impressive.
that said, literally the day before our flight away, Link came down with chickenpox, rash on his entire body. We were like, we're not even sure if we'll be allowed on a plane if anyone spots that he has chickenpox. Luckily, though, he's actually had his chickenpox vaccinations, which meant that this was a breakthrough case, which actually only happens to 1 in 10 kids. And instead of being like normal chickenpox, he just got the rash. He didn't have any fever. He didn't have any itching. There were no like pus or like it was very mild, which is fantastic. He didn't even care. He just sat there and played on his tablet. But yeah, somewhere in the UK he picked up chickenpox, and I was like,
Well, I'm really glad that did not turn into a problem because that
Yeah.
would have really been unfortunate.
funnily enough, I also got chickenpox overseas. I got it in Italy. Both of my sisters got it in Italy, and my cousin got it in Italy. Every single kid in my
What's
family
happening
has
in
gotten
Italy?
chickenpox overseas. It's amazing. So, should we talk about CitizenCon? We're 15 minutes in. Okay. I can keep going. Like, I got to recreate
What other illnesses have you had in foreign countries?
in foreign countries.
Mm-hmm. Did
Honestly,
you get
not
VD
many.
in Belgium?
No, I've never been to Belgium.
Have you had gonorrhea in France?
I have been to France. But
I'm very sorry.
I
I would have
think-
preferred gonorrhea.
I think I just had, mild food poisoning. Because France.
I genuinely thought you were going to say I might have had mild French.
No, the weirdest thing that I remember from France was like I was there with my aunt and uncle and my cousin, and we were in Nice for just a couple of days, and they
I
were
thought
like,
you said you were there with your cousin. Where did your niece come from?
Oh, jeez.
sorry, cousin.
Wow. Oh, well done, Shiver.
I just wanted to be kept abreast of the situation.
Oh, wow.
What? All I remember was we went to like a street thing and picked up some chickens and some baguettes to have dinner with, and then we spent the next like half hour finishing plucking the chickens because they hadn't been fully plucked. There were like feather things still left in them when they were cooked.
Just picturing you at the market, beret on, black and white stripe, and you're like, I'm fitting in, yeah, and these baguettes tucked under there, and you see these two chickens. Hey, would you like to come to dinner with me? Hey.
Hell.
Oh god.
Oh, man.
I haven't had human contact for 7 days.
Oh, all right. We should talk CitizenCon. My thoughts were Shiver, you watched most of it?
What if we don't want to hear your thoughts first? Nakara, what are your thoughts on CitizenCon?
My thoughts are I should let David drive the truck here.
Look, what we're going to do...
What are Darge's thoughts on CitizenCon?
That's actually a good question. What we're going to do is we are going to go one panel at a time, where we are going to cover what we thought of the panel, what we remember of the panel, and what we thought were the best things of that panel. And while we're doing that, y'all in chat are going to say what you thought of the panel, because I want to know what everyone thought of all of the panels.
And there will be a test at the end.
There will be a test at the end. Actually, this entire thing is a test, which is really bad, because a lot of this is going to come down to, do you remember what this panel was? Yes, sure.
I've got nothing against tests. I just don't want to join them.
Unfortunately, it's not an option anymore. Test membership is actually required when you. It's input when you
we're
buy.
kind of all members of test, whether we want to or not. Yeah.
Okay, so beginning with the Brave New Worlds panel, where they introduced Genesis, which is the new suite of technologies and processes within Star Engine for truly immersive worlds, achieving fidelity and scale required to fill an entire universe.
Wow. It's good to finish. Are you okay over there? No, he's lost it.
So we'll start at the beginning.
Okay, so this panel was...
you can break it down to more refining of procedural planet tech generation, including down to the weather patterns, landscaping, probably going to be tied into flora. Well, yeah, obviously flora, but fauna distribution as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the big advantage of this, the big step forward of this over the previous version is
density mostly. That was the big takeaway for me. Like, there's lots of really cool stuff here, but the density of features on the planet. So one being density of plants, but also the other one being density of like settlements. Yeah, it's kind of mind blowing. They've gotten to the point where they can actually make a jungle, and that was always the thing. That was always the point, because they had jungles in lore on planets, and they were always like, "Well, we're not sure how to do that in the game," and they got there. So the swamp biome
pointed out the variation in biomes and transitions between them, which includes the weather.
But you have to highlight here, it's not just biomes. It's how those biomes are created. They're not created by like painting, this is this biome, this is this biome. They're created by procedurally figuring out the humidity, the soil density, the bedrock, and then determining what plants can live in each of those areas, and that creates the biome. So you're going to get more natural biomes that sort of filter between each other, rather than what we get a lot of times in open world games, which is here's a line between these biomes, right? Sorry, Eric, I know you were about to say something.
That's going to make the blending between them hopefully really nice and smooth. And hopefully you do get those edges, like what happens in real life, where you sometimes see plants that like outside of where you'd expect them. And I was just gonna say that the 3 new like really impressive biomes they showed off really highlighted that density piece, like the swamp and the redwood forest and the jungle, like just incredible.
And I think there's one thing that's really important to mention here, because the biomes that they did show off are very much what we've seen on Earth, right? They are very standard. We are comfortable with them. That's good, actually, because a lot of planets in Star Citizen have been terraformed. But this is also them creating the basis of how they're going to do it, right? Like you saw in the panel, like lots of those smaller trees had like 5 variants, but through those 5 variants, they're able to create such a lush looking place. And then we saw that the redwoods had like 15 or 20 different variants for the red, right?
Crazy.
But
yeah,
they're figuring out
pining for more.
Yes, yes, I want more redwoods. In real life, please. Like, can we plant more trees? That's another thing. The UK has trees fucking everywhere. Cass and I are driving down like the side of the road here, and we're like, really? You weren't looking very hard because trees fuck all the time.
Apparently not. Apparently not. I guess that's why we sneeze, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, they've shown that they've got a working baseline and know the steps that they need to take. And they showed, I don't remember if it was that panel or another one, but they showed their thoughts on, what was it they had said? Like, they started off for fauna with things that are, you know, normal, that we recognize, dogs and cows, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're space dogs and space cows, but they're still dogs and cows. But now that they've figured those out and figured out the steps that they need to take to make them, now they're saying to the artists, okay, go make a 4-winged trapezoidal thing, right? Like, they can start making more alien stuff now that they know the steps they have to take. Sorry, go ahead, Shiver. Also,
are you saying they got to dogs and cats, and when they perfected that, they took pause?
All I know is they didn't eat any of them.
Wow.
Nope, I'm not going there.
Wow. Wow.
Jesus.
I like that. All right.
And
then you gotta give props for a few more things, but I'm gonna hit next on they now seem to have a pretty solid plan for how to procedurally populate planets with structures as well. So
yeah,
outposts and the like.
And,
so that's pretty freaking cool.
And there's a couple of things that I think are really important here that honestly we've been missing for a long time, because for years CIG have said, you know, there will be places where you can't land and reasons why you can't land, and you will need to take a land vehicle. Okay, well now if we've got dense enough forest, you can't land in the fucking forest.
Yeah.
If we've got weather systems coming in, you can't land or fly during it. Like, we might finally see some of those things that limit your ability to fly anywhere at any time on a planet, which is going to make it a lot more interesting to get around on the planets. And if they're not as empty, I mean, every 100 kilometers, honestly, is still pretty far. I'm hoping that there will be clusters, but it would be nice to, like, find somewhere to land and have, like, 4 or 5 different things that you can hit from that landing point.
Yep, that does seem to be their plan, based on what they said.
I would like it, and I imagine that it's going to be possible, that you could almost, in essence, Mass Effect 1 it, where you swoop your ship down as low as you dare go, and you just push that Ursa rover out the back in the air, hope they land, and then just, you know, arrange a rendezvous point that you can get to, that they can get to. That would be quite cool.
That would be, somebody's totally going to be doing that.
Yeah, I don't know why. You know, as long as you can get to a reasonable enough height that you could take it. But that's so cool, and that's so sci-fi. And it's just like, yeah, right out the box, it's just a maneuver that you can do.
It would be really funny if somebody did that and they lost a wheel right away. Hit the ground, wheel flies off.
But you might have to do that because, I've got a Carrack and I need to get here, but there's not enough landing space anywhere nearby for a Carrack, so we're going to have to drop the thing. And, I mean, you probably won't have to do it like Mass Effect did it, where you're flying and dropping, like, because that looks cool.
But I want to.
I know you want to, but, like, yeah, I think that'd be awesome. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite cool because if you're out there on unknown space, you find this planet, you throw out your Ursa rover, whoever's flying goes off land somewhere and they can do something else. You can remain in contact. Everyone has a nice, fun day and does some jolly
Yeah.
good, wholesome exploring, and no one brings back an alien parasite after sticking their face over an egg that you would not stick your face over.
There you go.
Every alien
hope.
movie ever.
Ooh, this thing looks weird and alien. Let's touch it.
This thing's covered in mucus and surrounded by dead skeletons. It looks a bit like an evil vagina.
Everything looks like an evil vagina in sci-fi and fantasy. I think one of the most important. I think one of the most important takeaways from this panel and from others is, we've talked for a long time now about how they can't do 100 systems and 900 planets in any reasonable amount of time, and it's still going to take them a shit ton of time. But if they can get these new tools working and this new procedural way to generate decent POIs out of building parts, I don't want to say it's possible, but it's a lot more likely. I still don't know if they can do.
They get to the no. I mean, yeah, maybe eventually after 20 years, but
this, without this, there was no chance.
It'll snowball. Yeah. The tech will snowball to such an extent where it's like, all right, what can we actually put in the algorithm for the procedural generation that we've got to this point of so much experience that we know we can just shove that in. But there is always going to be the need to finish it by hand, to look over it by hand.
Yeah.
I think they'll have to look over some things.
Especially for them. They've already established that they are not doing the no look procedural generation thing. Because other games have done it and they don't want to have to do that.
But I don't think they're so. Based on what they talked about in one of the later panels on how they're going to be building, or maybe it was this panel, I genuinely don't remember, but building the POIs, right? And the POIs will have the same buildings. They're just going to be laid out differently, right? Mm-hmm. So yes, it's the idea is you're not going to land and everything looks identical at every single one. They're all going to look different. They're all going to have the same buildings, though, which means that they don't actually have to review each individual POI. They just have to review the one building, each of the individual buildings, to say, yes, this is this building, this, and then the POIs.
I don't think they have to, but it's just good practice at the very least, just to make sure that everything's gone through.
They're not going to review. They said something like 6,000 POIs on a planet. They're not going to review all 6,000 POIs. You know what they're going to do?
When I say review, I don't mean that they are opening this up in game and looking at it. I would imagine that they'd be able to scroll through a piece of code that's being able to say, okay, well, look, this can go here. Here's the pathfinding routes reporting no extra errors or anything like that. Yeah. So, rather than go through by hand. But I do think it's, like Eric said, they're not going to just press button, release.
I think in a lot of cases they will actually be able to do that for the POIs on the planet, because there's going to be 6,000 on a planet. That's 20,000 in Stanton alone. And you know what they're going to do? Here's what they're going to do. They're going to click it. They're going to review a couple. Oh yeah, this looks good. We'll review 100. They all check out. That means more than likely the algorithm works, and then they're going to push it to a beta, and we're going to check it for them.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And we'll find ones that are wrong, and it'll get posted, and they'll figure out how to fix the algorithm from that. But they don't have to individually look at every single POI.
No, and absolutely they won't. And absolutely the same as with the biomes. They won't look at every biome. They won't look at every rock. They won't look at every tree, because if they did, they would literally take 1,000 years to make one planet.
Yeah.
But I just don't think they're going to get to the point where they can be like, yeah, we made a planet in a week, because I don't think that it's going to, it's just, there's too much that they want to do with, in terms of detail, that they don't want to be No Man's Sky or the other, highly procedurally generated games.
But what I think this really does is I think this makes it that it's not going to be one system a year. Like, we might see, 3 to 5 systems.
Yeah.
I think one system a year is achievable at the very least.
At the
maybe
very
not
least.
today, maybe
the
not
very
tomorrow,
least.
but by the time Citizen 1.0 is out, I would be disappointed if they're not in a position where they can say, yeah, we're going to do an entire system this year.
I think it's going to be more. Because again,
maybe not
lots,
1. Well, yeah, but I'm erring on the side of caution, because they've got other priorities to get to a state where they're like, right, this is Star Citizen 1.0. It's got 9 systems. That's got shitloads of content. But we're going to work on whatever needs to be worked on right now for post-release. Okay, cool. Yes, you do. And then 6 months later, okay, it's smooth. It's good enough. We're working on the next star system.
Well, and the people working on the star systems aren't the same people that are making sure everything's smooth, so they can keep pumping out star systems while everyone else fixes shit, right? So, and they've got the new team in Montreal that are just doing locations as they get spun up and more competent. Like,
but at the same time, we should err on the side of caution rather than okay, we're going to get this year. It's going to be this year. And it's going to be great. It's going to be perfect, because it never is.
I haven't said anything. I haven't said anything in the Discord.
No,
today,
I know. But I just know that it's easier to be optimistic.
I've kept an eye on it. And I've seen some people complaining that there's a lot of cynicism in the community right now. And I decided, coming into this, I'm going to be positive. We're going to have a positive show talking about
being positive, and then there's just lying.
Such cynicism. I love it. Okay. Next panel. A social
Well, we got
universe.
whoa. We missed one of the most important pieces with that last one.
Go.
One of my most requested features for many years, dynamic weather.
Yes.
Once we had real clouds, having them actually move and do stuff and, have actual weather systems, that was so cool to see, and is going to be, I honestly think, I know it sounds silly, but I think visually it's going to be a big draw for people. When they see, somebody sitting in their spaceship over a planet watching the weather systems happen below them, that's going to be quite the visual on Twitch, when people are watching guys stream the game.
Do you think, and this is a completely fluff question, do you think we're going to get seasons on planets?
They already said that we are going to, actually, in that panel, I think. Yes, they are doing. Yes, they're doing seasons, which is amazing. I'm excited.
That makes me horny.
Yep, they're doing seasons. They're doing dynamic weather. They're doing jungles and redwood forests and swamps. The swamp was actually really impressive. It's a very hard and detailed biome to get right. They even had the floating logs and the water plants and everything. That was pretty cool. And then our next panel, I'm going to take over David's job for a moment because he had to sprint away. So the next panel up was a social universe. The description of this was, it's the people you meet and the bonds you form that truly bring the verse to life. Dive into how we're evolving social features to maximize your adventures, from personal one-on-one interactions to massive gatherings with hundreds and even thousands of players. Octintoshan.
Yeah, how do you say that without sneezing?
I think that is
Yeah. This is what Arid recommended I start with, and I wasn't actually able to try it at the place I bought it because they didn't have any open. But I was like, no, I trust the recommendation I was given. So I'm going to absolutely butcher it, but I'm gonna try some right here, right now, because
all right. We shall see if you like it.
we shall. Hey, Ninja. Oh.
So, this was nice to see. So basically, this was just like a lot of the like social pieces of Star Citizen are getting some love. So reworking the comms app in mobiGlass to like work better, the in-game chat to work better, to have more customization, party finders, you know, all of this stuff that you just want to see in an MMO. Reworking VoIP and FOIP. And with a very impressive demo actually of the new FOIP, and it was not like a short demo; it was like what was it, like 10 or 15 minutes. So
Yeah, they've
For reference, have they put all the videos from CitizenCon up as their own separate things yet on the channel?
they
yes,
have, yeah, they're up.
Okay.
They're
the
up on,
FOIP stuff. Honestly, the FOIP stuff is really impressive. It seems like they've smoothed out a lot of like edge cases and done a lot of work of getting real expression through FOIP, which and I think again this is so interesting because they're not going to use it this way, but like other companies could take this tech, like facial capture is more complicated, but like for lots of smaller dev companies, the ability to do something like that where you can just capture quickly facial gestures and like blah 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 speaking would, I think, help animation a lot. It's like, Shiver, you got to see what they did in the updates. It's quite impressive.
No, I'm just trying to think if there's a porn joke in there, but
oh,
Oh,
absolutely
no.
there is, and
I mean, you
absolutely
could
it will
probably
be used
find
for
one.
porn if they release the tool in any way publicly. Yes,
You could get some great like facial animations and here. Let me. I mean, this is.
could we just steer away from the word facial for the time being? I don't think I could keep a straight face.
Next part of this was kind of a cool thing. They are reworking the beacon system and also adding a guide system so players can act as guides for new players. They obviously get rated, so if you do a shitty job, you get a shitty rating and nobody will ever want you to be their guide again. But if you do a good job, then of course you get rewards, all that good stuff.
Honestly, I
And then
didn't
the
care much
last
for this
piece-
panel.
No, I
But-
don't think a lot of people did. It was just good information to know that they're still
Yeah.
working on this stuff. And then the last piece was
I mean-
probably the most interesting. Go ahead.
Sorry, but the VoIP and the VoIP, I mean, even if it's groups, you know, just your friends where you could and normally would use Discord just for the novelty and the fact that it might be a bit more immersive using the in-game communications. So, you know, even to people like me who were like, yeah, I'm just going to play with me, 3 other people, that's fine. It's got a relevancy, you know, if you want to go that
Totally.
far with it, it's cool. But
I definitely will
Well,
try it for sure. To see
And
how,
and I gotta
how,
say,
it works.
I did say I didn't want to be negative at all. during this
Yeah,
show.
so
But
no negativity.
This is the one place where I'm not going to be negative, but I'm going to say that I'm waiting for CIG to realize some of what they were saying, because one of the things they were talking about in this panel and other places in CitizenCon was how important it is for people to be able to play with each other, and they're coming up with all of these different social tools to make it make it easier for people to play with each other and with themselves. But the thing that they still haven't solved is,
It's going blind from doing it too much.
Okay, I'm 3 systems away from my friend and I want to play with them. How?
Yep.
And that is...
they didn't offer a solution because it's not a problem they currently have.
Yes.
But they're going to get there. Yep.
They're going to get to it.
Get there.
They are going to... Yeah, go ahead, Shiver. Sorry.
Do you think they will actually come up with an actual solution, right? Because they've said they're against agent smithing. Agent smithing, that would have solved it all. But okay, they don't want to go that route. What could possibly be left as an option other than, well, fuck you, travel the 3 systems, you twat?
Offline travel.
Yeah, offline travel.
Offline travel is the
What do you mean by offline travel?
solution.
Because it's like, okay, I've just boosted up the game. You've just boosted up the game with 3 systems apart. Oh fuck.
Well, no, then you're fucked. But
Then
if
you're
you're
fucked.
like, hey,
Okay.
I'm gonna play Star Citizen with my friend tonight, you go in your mobile app and you say, hey, please transition my player to X planet.
It's going to be
so that I can be there.
1,300 UEC for the ticket for me and my ship, and I take public
And
transport.
it's going to be perfect for people who have got what's that good-looking ship that's backwards?
Lives.
Oh,
Certainly not.
No, the Genesis Starliner.
Yeah. It's going to be, because they have spoken about that sort of thing, and it's going to, maybe you'll be represented by an NPC that isn't actually you, but is just generic representation. But I like that. I'm down for that. But I mean, I don't. What if we are 3 systems apart and it's just like we spontaneously decided to play? Well, we fucking can't. We can't
You
play
can.
the fucking
It's just
game.
going to
That's
take you...
tough shit. And it's like, well, that's...
It's going to take you like an hour and a half.
It's going to take an hour, and then you can. But if you organize your play sessions in advance, you should be able to, for those of us...
I'm not that organized with my actual life that really matters. Why the fuck am I going to give a toss about organizing my fucking playtime?
Good point. So,
but at the same, don't get me wrong. Either at the same time, I'm like, yeah, all right, if that is the way it is, and that's just the fucking way it is, tough shit. But I would prefer it not.
I would just. They need a solution. I don't really care what the solution is, as long as there is one. That makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Miami. Shiver spends most of his time holding back jokes when I speak.
Oh, he's on YouTube. Hi, Miami.
Yeah. And Drow there are a lot of games that have this problem. Yes. Most of them don't have this problem as badly as Star Citizen will eventually. It doesn't have it now. But in theory, and again, we're doing this, we're like way forward looking. If they get 100 systems,
then you're fucked.
You're fucked. And you have to cross 50 friggin' systems.
No, you're on. Fuck. Although I think that particular problem does definitely exist in other games. Like, I don't think there's a way to do it in Eve, is there?
No, but there's not a way to do it.
The closest thing to do is place jump clones in pre-designated spots, but you still got to go to the place.
Yeah,
but
Eve and then
has
like
limitations on that. You can only jump
systems.
once every 24 hours.
No, guys. You said games. Eve is a spreadsheet simulator. It's not a video game. Stop using it as a baseline. We're using the baseline of things that are fun, not a second job.
I like
Eve's
Eve
great.
until I didn't like Eve. Anyway,
Let's move on.
last thing.
Okay, go. Yep.
You
Go.
can't jump past the end. Then you fall right off the planet, and then you're in Star Citizen again.
No, I fall off the planet. I see the elephants. I see the turtle. I, get great personal growth, and I become more attuned with the universe and all of its things. Sorry, go ahead.
Why don't you just call it an erection like a normal person?
Because it's not normal.
So
Go
More
ahead,
of an
Eric.
innie than an outie.
the last piece of this panel was bringing organizations into the game with the dedicated organizations app and customizable decals for ships, colors, armor, everything, the whole fucking 9 yards, everything. So that's pretty freaking cool.
Yes, sure.
I'd like to offer translation services. It seems to be a Canadian thing, because that's the second person I've ever heard say decals that way. But it's decals.
Sorry.
No, I'm just like, I'm not critical. It's just like, I've
There are more
literally
with-
and I'm just like, really?
Shiver, you know that like thin metal stuff that you use to wrap cold food with? What do you call that?
Foil?
Yeah, what foil?
Yeah,
What's
let's
the
not
name
go
of
down
the
this road.
element?
Kitchen
Okay,
foil?
so the next
Fuck
one is we're gonna skip right on by the cosplay competition.
Yeah. No, I
and
think
land
no.
on and land
I
on
came-
Brett.
I came back into the end of the cosplay competition. What the fuck was going on there?
It was a cosplay competition. That's all you need to know.
Like, well,
It
I
was
got to the
exactly
end of
same as
it.
Every other cosplay competition.
Well, yeah, I jumped into the end of it. And I was like, really? After all these years, it's still fucking chaos when you do this bit. Really?
Yeah, it's always chaos. Every single fucking.
And I got that just from like the last three. I got to see the three winners, and I was really.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We move on. Dressed to Kill, Starware. An exciting new character-focused specializations that let you define your identity and take on the challenges ahead, including the return of a legendary friend from CitizenCon's past. I don't remember this clearly.
I don't remember the legendary friend. What was that?
Neither do I. Someone in chat will. Oh, the sandworm.
Oh, right, of course.
Was that the Sandworm presentation?
That's not. That's
Yeah,
not
it was-
fucking
it was so
friend.
funny. They put it into Dress to Kill. They just like
Yeah.
stuck that right in there.
Shit, because I just remember that Sandworm battle. I would not have thought that was in the same section.
The
Totally
sandworm
forgotten the
battle-
clothes. Fuck that. Tell me about that worm.
Yep.
The sandworm battle honestly was one of the coolest things in the entire CitizenCon. It was that's like end game content, and what
Yep.
they showed after of the like, it's not just a sandworm. There's like various levels of the sandworm as it grows and gets older. And hey, Malchieri, how's it going? I genuinely loved the sandworm. Like, that was some raid ass like MMO gameplay. Like, that was cool.
I do worry it looked a little bit bullet spongy, but I imagine that's simply because that was the demonstration and not fully AI'd out behavior. Because
It was early.
you can't. I would imagine you couldn't risk an actual sandworm fight the way that they want to have it in game, because it would probably take too long and they might not make it. I hope.
What do you mean they might not make it?
Well, I hope that there's a bloody good chance that you take on a fucking ginormous worm that's bigger than Eris's Todger, and it could kill you, just like Eris's
Oh, yeah.
Todger.
Not quite.
Oh yeah. there was a lot of people dying during that demo. There's
There
people
were.
going down left, right, and center.
Thing is, like, that was clearly early. Like, it was.
Absolutely.
It did just sort of whip itself around threateningly a bit.
Yeah,
I mean,
but it also spat out
just
giant
like David's Todger.
Yeah,
Like
it
they
also
just,
spat out giant boulders, just
No,
like
like
David's
Sandworm.
Todger. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought the like roll stuff was cool. I liked the panel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Huge win for in this panel. They have gotten clothing working with armor, so
Yeah,
you can actually do both and mix and match between armor and clothing at the same time, which is amazing.
and it sounds like they finally figured out. And I think this is the panel where they talked about it. They finally figured out like the benefits of the different armor types of like heavy you can't fly shit, like making there actually be a difference between the armors. And I think that's really important. Yeah, it was a good panel. It's a lot of important stuff for the gamification, let's say, of Star Citizen. There needs to be points to the like a reason to not go with the heaviest armor at all time.
No, Dad, you were right the first time. When you're sat there, you're a clip pig with your backpack on. Clip pig.
Are you
What's
sure?
that?
Would fuck, you know. Darge is quite rightly complaining about if you shouldn't be able to pilot Starship when you've got a backpack,
with a backpack
on because
yeah, you shouldn't.
Yeah, because you look like a clip pig.
True.
I
suspected just for like not annoying the hell out of people, they won't make that a thing. Because it would annoy the hell out of people.
That's clip kosher.
Just automate it. When you get into the seat, your backpack hangs on the side of the seat. When you exit the seat, it goes back onto your back. Like, and it doesn't have to be something that you do. Like, oh yeah, I think so hard when I get to work and take my backpack off and put it beside my chair. It's just whatever. Who the fuck cares?
The question for me is, what is the point of wearing clothes when I could just be wearing armor all the time, just in case? Clothes look nice, and I'll get over that for a bit. But,
fashion.
Yeah, but I'm not looking at my character. I'm looking at my health.
Didn't they also?
I don't know. Okay.
Well, clothing's gonna. They said that pockets and stuff are going to matter, right? So clothing will have more pockets. Cargo pants being the best thing you can possibly get.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I think the advantage of clothing, and going back to like their discussion about specialized equipment here, is going to be mobility and stealth are much better compared to armor. And then there's obviously a lot of things that armor can do that clothing can't inherently. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting for sure. We got Sandworm, and then the variations of the Sandworm, which is pretty cool. All the different types of worms, and then there was more a very sort of brief, like 5-minute discussion about creatures in general.
Yeah,
and that they're
Well,
working. They said that they have all of their creatures defined for the road to 1.0.
Yeah,
cool.
I think there's something important here to theorize on, at least, because they showed it a little bit with Sandworm, in that the Sandworm has a baby one. I think it's got like what, 3 life.
There's 3 stages. Yeah,
3 stages. The first stage is like an infant in a cave. The second stage is an adult in the cave.
Adult, and by egg boil.
but and I think it's important to think about that because only the holy shit boyo is an alpha predator boss type thing that's rare. The others are going to be a lot more common in caves, and one has to wonder if they're looking at how they've done flora, right? Because they have the various life cycles of the flora, and I wonder if they're doing that for fauna as well. If they're going to have 2 to 3 life cycles or life
I got the
points.
impression that that was what that was.
But if they do, that's so friggin' cool. That adds extra because most games, this is your animal. It's an animal. If Star Citizen can add that and then can say in a mission, no, I don't just want a fucking space cow. I want a juvenile space cow. Capture me a juvenile. Oh,
And,
the
well, I mean, I'm
juveniles
almost
are...
there.
Sorry, go ahead.
Good.
Eric.
No. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just, the juveniles are rarer and they're protected by the herd, so it's harder to get one. Right? Like something.
Mm-hmm.
Eric, go ahead.
I was just gonna say they did discuss livestock, so almost certainly we are going to go down that road. Also, I wanted to show this off. This is the. Oh my God! Cooperate with me. Sorry, I'm having an issue. There we go. This was the. Why do I not have Twitch up anymore? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. This is the image they showed of the concept art for creatures.
Yes.
There are a bunch of different creatures in here.
You can see
And
a sandworm, but
can.
there's
You can also
another
see
worm, and then there's another worm.
There are a few different ones.
That's an all right number of creatures. If those are the creatures that are coming for 1.0,
there's another worm.
Bad. Yeah.
There's also the amazing crab that was teased. The gigantic crab that was teased earlier on. There's a whole bunch of cool ones in here.
Okay, so I want to move us on because we've still got a bunch.
Oh my God, that one's so cute! It's like a fat rhino had sex with a fat sheep.
Where's that one?
Bottom right.
Yeah, bottom right. Yeah, almost at the bottom right.
Oh yeah, he's cute.
Yeah, you see it?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple in there that look pretty cool, I think. Middle left little mole ratty thing is kind of cute as well. There's actually a variant of it 2 down.
Yep.
Anyway,
I think that one bottom left was in Futurama trying to sell soft drinks, you know.
Yeah. There's some cute stuff in there. Okay, I do want to move us on because we've got
go for it.
Still a fair bit to cover. So the next panel was Beyond Pyro. To the fantastic reaches beyond Stanton and Pyro, explore exciting new frontiers of Star Citizen's persistent universe. And I think it's in this panel that they announced the next 2 systems, and that 1.0 is going to have 5 systems total.
Yeah.
So first, to cover the 2 systems, they look cool. One is blah 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 system, and the other is blah 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 system. It's going to bring us to Nyx and God, I don't friggin' remember.
Castra, thank you, Dash.
Yes, Castra.
I know that. I remember a bit of backstory around Castra. I just didn't remember the fucking name of it.
Yeah, but
Nyx and Castra. Yep.
Will bring us. We're going to have 5 systems at launch. What did everyone think of 5 systems? It's what we've said for a while is likely.
I wasn't at all surprised. I am very excited that the 5th system, which actually wasn't announced until the 2nd day, but the 5th system is going to be Terra, which is going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Terra is huge.
Yeah,
that's one of the biggest systems in the game.
One thing I thought was interesting is, and I don't even know if we'll talk about this much today, but we'll definitely talk about it at some point. When it comes to lawful versus unlawful gameplay, they are going to have 2 unlawful systems and 3 lawful systems at the beginning, which I think is good. I definitely want more lawful systems than not, based on some of the things that they were saying about unlawful systems. But there needs to be enough unlawful systems to make them worthwhile. So I think it's a good start. It's a good place to begin, and the hope is that we get from 5 to 10 within the 3 years after 1.0 or something.
That'd be nice, but I don't know. I don't want. I just don't
that's
want
very conservative for you. I would have hoped, well within that, to be honest.
Well, I'm thinking, Stanton took them a long time. Pyro took them a while. It seems like Castro's taking them a lot less time. They're also, and Terra we don't know about, but we kind of assume that Terra is going to be in Squadron a little bit, and then we know there's 1 or 2 systems at least in Squadron that maybe once Squadron's out they'll be able to put into Star Citizen relatively easily. So
maybe
we'll see. We'll see.
The thing with Squadron is mostly set in one system. Like you've got, Christ, I hope it's at. We'll get to that later, but we'll just assume 30. We'll go with 30-40 hours of gameplay in one system in a single player game, which, cool, brilliant. Personally, for me, yes, but it's also very much this is a demonstration of what you can do in one system as a military guy. You could do shitloads of stuff in one system in a completely different career and have way more than 30-42 hours of content. And that's really what matters. Is you say to someone, it's got 5 systems at launch. That sounds atrocious. That sounds fucking terrible. We were promised 100. But it doesn't matter if it's got a fuckload of fucking content in there that's going to keep people playing the fucking game until there's more content to come out there. You cannot have a fucking MMO that is light on the content. What is the first M in MMO?
My favorite MMO of all time, still to this day, is Dungeons and Dragons Online. I thought it had the most interesting mix of D&D and like MMO and single, like it was, in my opinion, phenomenal. It died because they had no end game. They had nothing to do once you reached the end. And that was what a ton of people hated. That, and to be clear, died. It's actually still going because they just turned it into a free-to-play. But like, I don't think Star Citizen's going to have that problem because it's not really that kind of game.
Yeah. The end game is, it's just the game.
Yep.
It depends on what kind of scale you want to play at. Do you want to be stripping an entire asteroid field, or do you want to just be chattering along and strip a little ship down? Yeah.
Yep.
That's the beauty of the
it
sandbox.
is capitalism. Star Citizen is capitalism, the game.
Where we all lose.
You're not wrong. Let's talk about Squadron. So
yes,
we got. So I have my thoughts on this, but I was talking with Commander Llama, who watched most of the panels and everything, and I actually think I want to defer my thoughts.
With me.
He had time. He didn't have children. God, that was my mistake. I thought when I was talking to Commander Llama about this the other night that he actually made a phenomenal point about this, that it was not, what we got was not a gameplay reveal, but a setting reveal. And there was honestly very little gameplay that was shown. There was some turret stuff and a little bit of walking and a very limited amount of FPS combat. There was no ship combat shown off. Right? It was mainly videos. It was mainly like cinematics. It was not a good gameplay trailer. It was a phenomenal setting trailer. I am so interested in the world and the like characters and the stuff that's gonna happen.
Did he say anything more, or is that where he ended his summary?
That's sort of where he ended. He was like, it should
he
be.
He gave you the censored version.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I'm sure there was more, but we were also this was mid Helldives, so I think we got distracted by numerous Bile Titans and yeah. But I kind of agreed with that analysis. I think what we saw was phenomenal. But he's right. It wasn't a gameplay reveal. It was a setting reveal, and I liked it. What did you two think? And what did everyone in chat think?
I want to hear what Shiver thought first.
Are you sure? Because I was very excited. I've got a lot.
Yeah.
And you're more important than me, basically, Eric.
I am not more important than you.
Shiver, this is a
Go for it,
triumvirate. We're all the same.
That's a good
equal,
word.
Except that some of us are more equal than the others.
Prefer the term man train.
Fine. Go ahead. Shiver, after you.
So, spoke with Commander Llama, and yeah, he sums it up well. I absolutely agree with him. It was a great reveal trailer, no gameplay, and my biggest concern is, God, I hope there's 30, 40 hours of gameplay and not like 20 hours of fucking cutscenes and 10 hours of gameplay. That's my biggest concern. But that said, I sat here and I was like, this is really fucking good. I am really into it. And sad as it is, I hated myself for that. And it crashed and I was like, oh, good. That gives me enough time to roll another one because I'm enjoying watching this. But at the same time, I was also very much at the back of my head of, I'm enjoying watching this. There was not enough gameplay, and the gameplay that was there was very on the rails. But I was there. I really liked it. And, like, you could see that Chris Roberts has done films, and that experience has translated over. Because, it's engrossing. And it's like, oh shit, now I've got to play? I don't want to. I want to fucking watch more of this fucking movie. Oh, I'm in it.
You know what it reminded me a lot of? Two things, and then we go to Nakara. One, it reminded me a lot of Hideo Kojima games, where there's a shit ton of exposition between gameplay. And like Metal Gear Solid 5, man, you're an hour in before you get to do anything other than crawl with your bare ass staring at people's faces. Like, I don't think it's a problem.
Okay,
and I think people
interesting. I never played Metal Gear Solid 5, but now I have a very different perception of it.
Metal Gear Solid 5 is phenomenal. And yes, Darsh, you're right. Unlike Hideo Kojima games, there's some sanity there. Because after you crawl on your face with your butt shown out, a giant flaming whale appears, or so. It's fucked. Play it. It's phenomenal, but it's fucked. But so to me, I don't understand why people are complaining about that. I think this is I mean, it's valid, but also who gives a shit if it's good. The other thing I wanted to say really quickly is because it's on Game Pass, last week I played through all of Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which is, this year's AAA blockbuster, top of the line FPS game. There's no other FPS this is the top of the line for this year, and it
Sorry,
when-
what was it called?
Black Ops 6.
Oh, that's a. Oh, I thought that was when Fastcut does surgery. See if that fucker's paying attention now, shall we?
Quite frankly, great game. I did enjoy my time playing the single player, and I thought they had one like open world map, which is new to Call of Duty as far as I'm aware. Kind of neat. Gameplay is pretty good. Guns are fun. It looked like shit compared to Squadron 42, which isn't out yet. What, man, like everything in Call of Duty looked like shit compared to Squadron. And this is, the going to be one of the top selling games of this year. It's, the highest end you can get. And I played it and I look at Squadron and I'm like, holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Squadron's
pushed the visuals very far.
So far. And not just the visuals, but like even the limited amount of gameplay that they showed. I mean, Black Ops 6 went a level above previous ones. And I can remember decades ago playing Call of Duty and just like I was sat at the spot and I was killing. It took me about 10 minutes of killing everyone in front of me for me to realize, oh wait, they're just going to spawn infinite enemies until until I reach, a set point I have to push up to a set point for them to move the next thing forward. And they still do that. They've just disguised it better in that now when you hit that set point, the people that you ran past, they now run past you to try and get to new cover. Like I don't know, man. I'm really, really hopeful for Squadron. I'm really, really excited to see what it can do. Things that I've seen and heard have it, comparing to something like Half-Life. And if it can pull off something like Half-Life with like 30, 40 hours, whereas Call of Duty Black Ops 6, the AAA, top of the line, whatever, took me under 6 hours to beat. Fuck, man. Shit. I'm fucking in. I'm hard in. I'm deep in. Deep and hard and fucking in.
That's graphic, David.
Disgusting. I never.
Okay, so would you like my thoughts on this?
Yes. Sorry, Eric. I just took up way too much.
Okay.
Eric, your thoughts, please.
A lot of my thoughts have already been sort of reflected here, so I'm just gonna say I thought it looked really incredible. It was more of a movie than a game for the first hour there, hour and 16 minutes or whatever the demo was. The bits of gameplay we did see, I did quite like. I really like the turret stuff. Most importantly for me, almost above everything else that they showed, it is so evident how much love and care went into trying to make the Vanduul look real as they could make them look, and make them act real and like move convincingly and everything. I was blown away by how good the Vanduul looked. They were incredible. And so I think that especially really bodes well. Having a really good villain is an excellent thing for a game. And I'm also hoping, I'm assuming based on what we've heard about Squadron 42 before that this big exposition at the beginning is not going to be reflective of how much gameplay there is. I'm expecting there'll be long segments of gameplay that happen. after that. But I do agree that I think it was basically just like setting up the story of like, where are you in the world, what's happening, how scary are the enemies, that type of thing.
I think at the end of the bit we saw in last CitizenCon, it goes straight into the Morrow tour that we've already seen.
Yeah, yeah.
So that I would guess would be the prologue introduction.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after that it's just like, so
Then you're into
go
missions.
nuts. Yeah, go explore. And did you ever play Star Trek Voyager Elite Force, I think it was called?
I did play it. It's been like a gillion years. And yes, I know it's not a number, but that's how many years it's been.
Even though it was technically a level-based game, it gave you this really cool impression of, okay, yeah, you've completed level 1, but you've been back to the ship and you get debriefed and you do a little bit of life on board Voyagers. I'd imagine it's like that, but big and chunky. Yes, you, the beardy weirdy with the blue t-shirt.
I do have one other thought that I was thinking of then, and I haven't mentioned to anyone, but I wanted to mention now because I've been saving it. A long time ago, CIG were talking about how there wouldn't be any cutscenes and everything would be in-game, and you'd be watching things from in-game on TVs, conversations play out in front of you, etc. And it seems like this has gone away. It seems like this has gone away from that. Do we think it's just for the tutorial, or are they stepping away from that because it's a better way to tell stories than trapping you in first person?
I think that may have just simply been something that they discovered in development didn't work. I'm not sure though, because that again, this was basically the prologue to the game. And it's very possible that it could just be a big, mostly a movie. And then after that, it basically operates how they've told us before, where, you are in a cutscene, but you can just like walk away or whatever. So we'll see.
I'm not against it, but I think that if they need to change a camera angle, then they'll just change camera angle. I don't think they're going to be particularly married to the idea that everything has to be presented in the first person. And I would imagine that the writers and Chris all find it quite restrictive to tell a story from your first person perspective, because you can only be aware of what your character's going on, and that doesn't necessarily always build up the best tension, because I would imagine that that they've probably strayed away from that where they need to, simply because of storytelling.
I think there will be sections where it is told through a first person, where it matters more to you, but where they're trying to set up this, like, it's hard to understand the enemy when you never see them because you're in first person, and so I think there's going to be the mix of both. I just wanted to bring up the question. So that said, we have now made it through day 1.
We have 9 minutes to cover day 2.
Good thing it's only half a day.
Yeah. So
hang on, wait, I need to ask you and everyone that went the most important question.
Go.
Tell me about that food. Slowly.
It was good.
It was really good. I liked all
what
of
was
it.
There? What could you
So we had torpedo burritos, and we got Benny's bowls as well.
And I got the pizza. Remember, I showed up with pizza.
Oh right, yeah, you did get pizza.
We tried everything.
Yep.
The pizza was fine. It was, fast fired pizza. It was decent. But it wasn't anything to write home about. I thought the Benny's was very good. Unfortunately, we're all out of the beef Benny's, but they had like the spicy chicken Benny's, which was noodles and Benny's, and was it noodles or rice? I genuinely don't remember.
It was noodles, and
I thought so.
I did quite like
it. It was quite good. There was a decent amount of chicken. Honestly, it was tasty. I do think that the highlight was the burrito.
Yeah, torpedo burrito was excellent.
It was a very good burrito. Like,
And
Mhm.
purely virtual would like to know how the bar was.
they had beer. It was expensive.
Was that
They
it,
didn't even
really?
have a
Just-
lot
oh.
of beer. No, they had a lot of other stuff. I just didn't touch it. I only drink beer.
They had lots of options. Yeah.
It was really
Um,
good. One thing.
Well, I
one
gotta give them
genuine-
props for. They had enough staff. I was able to get up and go and get David a beer and be back in the
Yeah.
seat in like a few minutes. Like it was
Yep.
fast, so that was impressive.
Except for the merch line. The merch line.
There's not enough staff in the universe for that merch line.
We were literally never able to even make it into the line because they shut down the line. When it got too full, they shut down the line, and every time we tried to make it to the merch booth, they had shut down the line and wouldn't even let more people queue.
Well, that's your problem. You came over here, and one of the things that we can do best is queue.
No, but it's
Like,
not.
I bet there were people in that queue. They didn't even know what was coming at the end of it. They were just like, "Oh, it's a queue."
It was honestly not good. Like you would miss the entire. It's quay. How the fuck can you justify QUEUE?
David, it's so
Quay?
funny that the
Hang
entire
on,
English language. This is the hill you die on.
This is the
Because
hill I
there's
die
some
on.
real bad ones.
This is the one. How the fuck do you think QUEUE is pronounced the same as CUE, a pool cue? You fucking nincompoop.
One is
QUEUE. I don't give a shit.
is
They're
not
pronounced
French.
differently.
Yeah,
They're
but
not
one is a
pronounced
French
differently.
word that's been anglicized.
Giant ball of mold.
Wow, that was great.
You're a fun guy, aren't you?
Oh, love it. That was great.
Look,
Okay, we have to hit
this
these
is the
real
hill I
quick.
die on. Yeah,
Unless
let's go.
we want to run this show for like the next 3 hours.
I'm okay to go a little bit long, but yeah, let's talk about. And this is the
well,
one I
yeah,
wanna
but like
talk
the
the
biggest
most.
things are still to come. So like,
Okay, well,
we got
no,
4 minutes.
I got a question. I don't.
Yes.
I genuinely don't think we can do these justice in the next 4 minutes. I would like to propose.
Let's do them in justice then.
No, I would like to propose that we save day 2 for next time.
No,
We're gonna do.
I say we
see-
save Dave 2 for 2 weeks' time.
No, we're doing next week.
You're
Unless
doing
someone
next
has-
week.
Are you not?
Oh, you can't do next week?
I don't know. I'm just trying to be difficult.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. Fair enough.
We
I
are
can
going
do
to
next
save.
weekend.
We are going to save day 2 for next week because honestly, day 2 is where I want to talk the most.
Yeah, we have like
Quite
we have
frankly.
hours of content for day 2. Holy shit! They're just like, hey, guess what? We're going to completely blow up what you thought Star Citizen's going to be.
Really
Enjoy.
quickly,
So, before you go, can I ask you
Yeah.
questions? Like, what were the
Yes.
models like? The big fucking models. What was that like to see?
honestly,
Port was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
It was fucking
Port-
incredible. That model weighed, what was it, like 2,000 pounds, something? And they shipped it all the way across the ocean.
Port
Was it
Olisar
the
was.
Crazy.
Bengal that was no, it was the Retribution that was also there, wasn't it?
They had
Yeah,
Port Olisar.
Retribution
They had a
and the Port
Retribution. There was a giant Hornet, which was fine. It
Oh,
was giant.
Hornet was so cool.
It was cool. It was giant. Yes, Darge, you had to look, but it was very. Honestly, the thing that was most impressive to me about Port Olisar was, I mean, one, they built it, but two, they brought it there on their own from China. That's
No,
some
it
devotion.
came from space.
Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the models were
Anything
incredible.
that we might not have seen on the stream that was really cool?
No, they showed everything.
All right.
Yeah, I think
Oh
they
wait,
showed.
is
I
he
think they got
Darsh?
everything.
That makes a bit more sense.
That does make sense because holy
That makes
crap,
more
those
s-
models
it-
were amazing.
Okay,
Nice.
that makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's still really cool, but that makes a lot of sense. I what can I say?
You.
Can I say that you know what? I'm going to type something to.
Well, while you do that, can I mention Rupert Easterbrook,
Who? Who?
producer on Star Citizen, or was,
Oh, yes.
and
Yeah,
worked at
do
EA
it.
UK and passed away.
Yeah, I
And
don't think that was.
that's
Sorry, go ahead.
no, that was it.
Yeah.
He passed away.
Yeah.
Mm.
Suddenly, and that was sad. And I think they're putting together. I don't know if they were announced yet, but there will be funeral details announced at some point. But I think that was sudden and unexpected, and that's always sad.
Yeah, he did a lot for
Yeah.
EA UK, certainly.
Yeah. What I did want to say is I did do the tour of the Manchester offices, the new offices. They are beautiful, and I think like we saw a lot of really cool stuff on the floor at CitizenCon, and the stuff. Yeah.
You
Okay,
saw a lot
Darsh
of
has
stuff
said-
on the
Darsh-
floor at the
Look,
studio.
Darsh said
Mostly
it in-
rubbish because they haven't got bins in yet.
Darsh said it in chat, so I'm just going to confirm it. The stuff that JRDF put together for the studio is fan-fucking-tastic. It's so fucking good. Like, and yes, Malkiri, I actually don't have a picture of me sitting in Disco's chair. I just sat in Disco's chair. Someone else, I need a picture of it because I only saw a video of it. I need a picture of me sitting in that chair. Do you know why? It's because I need to figure out what chair that was. That is the most comfortable, like, office chair I've ever sat in. It was
It's just
so
Jared's
nice.
butt groove.
Yeah.
One of the cool things about that, they have the largest performance capture studio in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Which apparently really pissed off Andy Serkis.
Who's in Star Citizen, by the way. But yeah,
Yes,
it was really cool. Oh, did he? Yeah, that sounds about right. Anyway,
No.
It was cool.
I'm pretty sure it was tongue in cheek. It was Jared
Yes.
saying it. But yeah, they have a huge performance capture studio, which is really cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. All in all, I think the entire CitizenCon experience was fantastic. That said, I don't know if I'll go in person for a while. The best part about it is seeing the people that I love, and it's a lot of money to go and do so, and I'm poor now. I'll also say
They suggested RelayCon in Canada.
well, I would really
I mean, where's the Montreal CitizenCon? Honestly, come
look.
on.
I'm going to get married next year. If I happen to get
You
married
say that
around
every year.
Cass know this?
Yeah, she's the one that's insisting on it. To me, we're
But
already
who
married.
you gonna
But
get married to?
Cass. Wait, when did they show up? I guess the ships is next week, eh?
Yeah,
that's Captain's. Okay, I won't say anything
Captain's
about
Industry.
it. If you want to know what I think about the ships that were unveiled, you're gonna have to wait till next week. But before we go, you're gonna have to give me a minute here because I've actually got to figure. I didn't end up having time to do this, so give me a moment. Shiver, can you prevaricate or like occupy people for a moment, really quickly? Go. I'm disappointed.
Put
You're
me
not
on
doing
the
it.
spot, and then and then I'm fucked up. Eric, what was your favorite? What was your highlight from the first day of CitizenCon?
Why?
Yeah. Okay. So during the Squadron 42 demo, the kingship, the huge fucking weapon on the kingship, when the big like arms that would like slam into place as it like charged up to fire, that was fucking cool. That was awesome. It lended such a great like suspense watching them like slowly, like snap into place, getting ready to fire. That was fucking awesome.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
That was my favorite moment.
Okay, I think I've got this ready. So here we go. Is there audio in this? I'm gonna hope. Okay, let me. I think the audio will play. Let's find out.
Yeah, it's working.
Is there audio? Because I don't get any audio.
Yes,
Okay,
it's
there is. Cool. Yeah. I like it.
That was awesome.
You went all out on those graphics there, Shiver.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. We even got a new logo from a very famous designer just for this game.
Nice.
Yep.
Awesome. That's great.
So it's VTM game set in the 80s.
Everything set in the 80s
that-
is better.
Always, yes.
You'll see at least one familiar face.
All right.
Yeah, you'll see one familiar face
You know,
in that one.
nothing's ever set in the 90s because the 90s sucked.
No, that's that's
Fuck you,
2030s.
nice, great.
When we get to the
That's the
2030s,
20s too.
everything will be set in the 90s. That's how it works.
Yeah, but the 80s are just cooler.
I'm telling you, we're gonna get there, and I'll be like, "Told you, man. Here it is."
What is the
90s
defining
wave
of the
the
90s?
wave of 1990s stuff.
What happened in the 90s? Nothing.
Bill
Black
Clinton.
metal.
Nothing cool. That's what I said.
Windows 95.
I mean, there could be a whole movie about Windows 95.
Trust, I know, but we had Windows 3.11 before, and 95 was better.
Yep, it sure was.
All right.
And
Well,
then the behemoth that was Windows 98 that ruled all for a very long time.
Star Trek,
hey,
Next Generation, and Deep
Oh,
Space Nine.
TNG and DS9. So yeah, it was an amazing.
DS9. Look, nobody cares about DS9. Literally.
Everyone in the world cares about DS9 except for you. So
It's shite. It's the worst Star Trek. Literally the worst of them. and I'm counting Enterprise.
Have you watched Voyager?
Yes, Voyager is better
Then
than
you're
DS9.
just silly. Oh, you are
Voyager-
just silly.
He just likes to rile people up. That's all.
Oh, look! We're stuck on a spaceship! It's not a space.
I like that he's talking so high that he's peaked and he's cutting himself off.
Yeah, all I heard was he's stuck on a spaceship. Well, that's Voyager for starters.
Yeah, sure is.
Yeah. DS9 is shit.
DS9 is
It's
amazing. Incredible. By
it's
far
14
the best Star Trek. Blows everything else out of the water.
Strange New Worlds. Fuck up. It's the best.
No, I'm just
The Strange New Worlds is the best.
we're just arguing
Period.
about
I know.
semantics.
All
right.
TNG is
All
the
right.
best.
TNG
All right, everybody.
has the best, but it also has some of the worst.
No, that's
There's-
Voyager. TNG
Ghost
has
fucking?
bad, but
Ghost
the
fucking.
worst is
Ghost fucking.
de-evolution.
Out of 7
Voyager.
years, with about 20 episodes in each season, you name one from the 7th season, which I think might have been the first episode. Shades of Grey? No, that was the recap episode that was at the end of.
Oh, Shades of
Season
Grey was
3.
rough.
There's a
Yeah,
couple
that was-
rough ones.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Back in the day, yeah. Yeah, there's
Honestly, the entire
they,
first
they have
season.
they have a lot easier
Yeah,
time. Not the entire first season.
No.
Counter at Farpoint is
No.
actually pretty cool.
Yes.
A lot of the season 1 episodes that are bad were actually written by Gene Roddenberry. But
Yeah.
That does
also,
not at all
the bad-
surprise me.
a lot of the bad episodes, season 1, season 2, TNG. A lot of the bad episodes of Voyager from season 1 to the last fucking episode.
I liked Voyager. I thought it
Yeah.
I
more
like Voyager
interesting.
too. I like Voyager too, but it was the most bipolar of any Star Trek. It was like one episode would be amazing and the next episode would be just total garbage. And it was
But
back
at
and forth
least-
constantly.
At
all
least
the time.
things
Voi-
happened in it. Nothing happens in
Voyager's
DS9.
bread and
It is
butter
static.
was the same
entire
fucking
time.
Okay,
episode.
We're gonna talk for 4 hours about the entire history of Deep Space Nine and everything that happens in it.
Well, Deep Space Nine had character development, it had universe development. Voyager was like, we're stuck in the middle of
There's an
buttfuck
entire
nowhere. We got
war in DS9.
something fucked up happens, and we've got to make a friend on the way. Aren't we
DS9 had
great?
entire episodes with those 2 fucking kids that were completely unwatchable
Yeah,
in
and
their
there's
acting.
Wesley Crusher episodes in TNG.
Wesley
and
Crusher's
there's kid
great.
episodes in
There was a little fucking annoying girl.
in Voyager too.
There was a little fucking annoying girl in Voyager and Neelix.
And Neelix, there you go.
There was also the Doctor in Voyager, who I really liked.
I love the Doctor in Voyager.
I'll give you that.
All right, we need to turn this off now.
Deep
We're
Space
way past
Nine,
time.
right, had Jadzia Dax.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are well over time. Please return
Play Jum Jut
next
Human.
week. Return next week as we delve the very depths of CitizenCon 2024 Day 2. We will plunge repeatedly into the cavities of all that they discussed at the event. Over and over and over and over and over and over and over
I missed
and
that.
over and over.
I missed that. Come again?
Yes, I am disgusting.
I find that hard to
Seriously,
swallow.
Great to hang out with everyone again, and I hope you all have a good week. For any of thou in the United States of America, please go vote in what
Please vote.
is quite frankly the most important election of our time. Please, God, don't kill the world.
Vote right. Vote for Kodos.
That's right. Just fucking vote. I don't give a shit. Just do it. Get
Love
out
you
there.
all. Love you all. And do geese have teeth?